Hello, I'm Jennifer James. I'm a cultural anthropologist and a specialist in change. We're changing at the speed of light, so it's becoming a very important skill to be adaptable, to be flexible. And we're not just changing values, we're primarily changing strategies. And the reasons are obvious. Technology, information retrieval, transportation around the world, the speed of communication links, and most of the changes are very positive. But a lot of us are uncomfortable. I was recently working with some publishers, and they're still editing on typewriters. I hadn't heard the sound of typewriters in a long time. It takes 10 times as long to edit a manuscript on typewriters, but they were more comfortable with that process. How about you? How are you doing? You're being asked to change faster than any generation. And I asked teachers how they're going to handle it. They're supposed to provide the education. And they said that they were waiting for the administrators to die. They didn't believe that people in positions of control could make these kind of gut-level shifts in time. It's very difficult. Too many of us say, this is the way I am, this way I've always been, take it or leave it. But we all have to change. I'm an example. You know, I'm an immigrant from Wales, raised on a farm in eastern Washington. When I was 12, I was Washington State Junior Barrel Race champion. That's a rodeo event. All I wanted my senior year in high school was to be Diamond Spur Rodeo Princess. I didn't get it, so I went to college. And I went to college on a home economics scholarship. I was Betty Crocker Homemaker of the Year in 1960. I went to college on a scholarship I got in a public bake-off. I baked a pineapple upside-down cake in an all-electric kitchen. We're all changing. You need the ability to walk through the windows of change. How flexible are you? The ability to change is a crucial skill. If your manager comes into the office and says, you know, I've hired an efficiency expert to help you do a better job, are you thrilled? Do you say, oh, thank you? Or do you say, oh, no, right? Let's test your flexibility. How about vegetables? Well, we think we're so flexible, but lots of us make our decisions about vegetables at the age of 10. We announce, lima beans will never cross my lips. And then if someone puts it on our plate or we go out to a restaurant and there they are, we will move them over. We don't want them to touch our stuff. It's interesting how slowly we change with such non-dangerous items as vegetables. But we know how you change your vegetables. At a certain time in life, you begin to add new ones into your life. In your late 30s, you add broccoli, right? Ask yourself, what's a vegetable that you recently added? If you've already moved into your 40s, it's probably Brussels sprouts. If you've added eggplant, it means somebody's having an affair. I mean, not necessarily. But the only way that we get eggplant is either it's cooked in your family or you fall in love and that person convinces you that you want to eat it. We get very fixed views about things in our life, and we're not willing to change our taste. What about color? We think we're open to colors, that we can see the ones that are all around us, but most of us are not. You know, young girls may choose colors 2 or 3 early in their life. It may happen to do with what their mother told them or what 17 magazine told them, or they're trying to match their eyes, or someone they didn't like so they won't ever wear that color. And boys, we accuse boys of choosing 3 colors at the age of 14, and that's it for life. And even if you buy them something as an adult in another color, it never gets out of their drawer. Unless they play golf, something strange happens on the golf course. Well, if we can't even see the colors around us, what do? Well, you hire a specialist. You get someone like a Color Me Beautiful lady, and she drapes a different shade on your shoulder than the one that you wear. And all of a sudden, you can see a difference. It changes your perspective. You can see colors all around you. It's easier to shop. It's easier to create environments. If you can't see what's right in front of you, if you can't open up to your own environment, it's hard to change. Let's try another test. Let's try the spaceship test. All right? Imagine, you know, you're outside and a spaceship is going to land. All right? Here it is. Ooh, crash. It's so big that just the front rim is in the field, and it glows and it's white, and a door opens up in the top of it, and a ramp comes down, and an arm invites you up the ramp. Now, what are you going to do? right? How many of you are going to run up the ramp and say hi? How many of you are going to wait and see what happens to them first? Anyone going to call the National Guard? Now, what happened if I asked this kind of a question of a 7-year-old? What would they do? Right? Run up the ramp, most of them. Now, they have been told not to talk to strangers, but they're not afraid of what's in their spaceship. What's the difference between us and 7-year-olds? Now, you might say the difference is experience, but how many of you have actually had experience with extraterrestrials? We have a different history. And I was raised in World War II, and my father didn't like very many people. He told me their names and what was wrong with them. And then I was raised on 1950s science fiction movies where they put something in the back of your head and take over your brain. Remember? It came from another planet. Or the pod movies where they just want to suck the juice out of you. And we learned that the only reason that someone different comes to your town is to take your stuff. But what do the kids think? Who do they think is in that spaceship? E.T., right? Doesn't look like them, but has some of the same emotions. Steven Spielberg has given an entire generation of American children back the universe. It's a universe we're still afraid of. But those 7-year-olds, they know those people need houses, they need telephones. It's a whole new market.